Thanks a lot for the introduction. And well, we are talking today about a real challenging theme, and this is Qlik data integration Synapse for Sap clients. It belongs to a, let's say, to a frame, to a theme which we call Qlik accelerator packages, and it addresses a few topics which we believe are hot and meet the requirements of many customers. So first of all, business needs new ways of decision making. So the markets are changing, the customer behaviors are changing. We need information during the day, not let's say after 1 week or extracted once a day. Often we need real-time information and data, and we see this in many verticals like retail, logistics, and shop floor management, where customers, companies look into possibilities to really empower their business with more detailed information during the day. So what are we doing specifically in an SAP environment, or why do we this in an SAP environment? So the answer is very simple. Many customers are running their business on SAP in different flavors with different modules, but in general, we can say that for many customers, SAP is one of the heartbeat elements of their business. So we addressing the way of doing analytics for many customers moving into the cloud with those pre-built applications and infrastructure components, and help them to implement a technical solution to help the business by rapid implementation with pre-built content and open metadata. So when I say solution, how could such kind of solution look like? So we call it Qlik accelerator package. Qlik's accelerator package, for example, on Synapse in the Azure cloud, comes with pre-built extractors ready to use. So these pre-built extractors are part of the SAP configuration, and they are ready to use. They provide batch-oriented but also real-time data. The second component is pre-built replicate tasks. Pre-built replicate tasks give you the possibility to leverage change data capture in an SAP environment, which is business-oriented and contains also business logic. The next component is a pre-built data warehouse model for different subject areas like order to cash, like procure to pay, like SAP inventory or SAP financials. The next package is catalog ready data marts. So we have an option here to document all the KPIs, all the structures, the entities within the Qlik data catalog for rapid data provisioning. Last but not least, a pre-built template app that helps you to quickly ramp up a, let's say, an application like I showed to you with order to cash. So in the next slide, a more detailed view of the solution contains extractor queues for a different business environments, for different types of sales orders, billing documents, especially here in the order to cash as an example, sales order status, billing, accounts receivables, etc. The replication tasks are pre-built. They help you to understand what's coming in terms of data. Just take it, copy it into a replicate, and run them. Pre-built compose model means the analytic environment that helps you to understand your business is pre-built. It comes with a model for data warehouse and various data marts. It provides information for sales order management, shipment distribution, billing, and accounts receivables. I already mentioned catalog. So the catalog is mainly there in order to understand which KPIs and key metrics we are providing. It's also called a documented KPI catalog. So finally, I said in the beginning, we provide an open metadata framework, an open metadata and schema framework. So this addresses not only the availability of those kind of technical environments for Qlik customers. No, we are open also for customers using Power BI or any of the other analytic tools who want to consume analytics and key measures and KPIs. So we have some, when it comes to the Qlik analytic front end, we have some specialties like ready for alerting. But as I said, it's an open framework available for other analytic tools than a Qlik. So let's have a look into what's available right now. So available right now is the order to cash package. We come out in April with a sub procurement to pay package, and finance and inventory are in progress. I estimate the availability by end of H1 2021. So now let's have a look into the product itself. So I spoke about the first pre-built package. It's a real-time data delivery package, which is predefined. It deals with full and delta load enabled standard extractors in the SAP system. So for those people who are not so familiar with these terms, so the SAP extractors are a pre-built functionality existing in every SAP system that can be activated and they can be registered for the usage in Replicate. So we support the availability or the availability of those standard extractors within our replication environment. So for those who are a bit more familiar with those extractors are providing pre-built extraction logic. The pre-built extraction logic contains delta capable and non-delta capable extractors. So let's have a look at an example. What is a delta enabled extractor? So here you see a list of all the pre-built packaged supports for delta enabled extractors. So for example, if you extract sales orders and you want to recognize the deltas, if you want to process the deltas during the day, you can leverage, for example, all those standard extractors existing in an SAP system. But also what we provide is full load support for the non-delta capable extractors. We support full load for currency, exchange rates. Currency conversion is a key package or a key component in the package. And we provide, especially for Qlik users, a certain way how to provide various languages for the front end. So you can actually have a front end in English, German, or French as you like it. So let's come to the compose part, which is probably the most important part of this entire infrastructure. So compose is the data warehouse administration tool. Here you create, first of all, your data warehouse model. So when we say rapid implementation, this is just a metadata frame. So you get this model, just copy it in, install compose, copy it in, run your predefined extraction processes in Replicate, and you will receive the data on the landing zone in this specific case in Synapse. So we support Synapse fully as the ground and the foundation for this data warehouse solution. So this data warehouse is able to extend. It's expandable, for example, by an easy way of historization. So just if you want to historize a material or if you want to historize a customer, so let's say I would like to historize material, just go and take one of these pre-built attributes and change it to type 2. And you can implement very easily a fully historized data warehouse solution. So the historization then moves exactly into the data mart. So the data warehouse model is one key piece of this infrastructure. The second key piece is the entire management of the ETL processes. So you can benefit from a full load ETL set. You can benefit of all the text tables. When you look into the text tables, for example, take material, we provide 4 different languages out of the box for any description you have within in this model. We have a full enabled CDC enabled, let's say, processing set. So this processing set is responsible for all the CDC, all the real-time streams which are coming out of the SAP system. We have a specialty here for more complex KPIs and measures, which we call key figures. Then we have the sub-currency module, which helps us to deal with 3 different currencies. So if you have a specific sales organization in your company that has a local currency, a group currency, or a corporate currency, so this is standard or could be standard in an SAP implementation. we are supporting this. So this entire framework is pre-built. Just install it and run it and load your data warehouse. In the final step, we are providing two different data marts. So this is a best practice data mart containing several line item oriented fact tables, but also aggregated fact tables that come with a pre-built environment. Pre-built means when you go into this into the description, you see all these pre-built metrics we are providing in the aggregation data mart. So just install that, create these SQL statements, create these processes, and run and load your data mart with data. So where the data are landing is defined by the data mart actually. So the data mart contains all the information, it contains all the attributes, it contains all the metrics, and it's available as a schema on a Synapse database. So when we say open metadata schema, so this pure data mart schemata are available to import in Qlik Sense or to import, of course, in Power BI or any other ETL tool. Just import the schema, reverse engineer it, and build your own entire metadata layer to build the reports and specific, let's say, additional information. What you get with Qlik is you get the full enable application for order to cash. So order to cash addresses several steps. Order to cash step one would be creating a sales order. From the sales order, you create the pickings, you create the deliveries, you create the billings, and finally you get information about the accounts receivables. This entire process is actually containing several data sheets which are pre-built in this dashboard. So just take this data, import it into your Qlik environment and ready to run. So the configuration is pre-built. The only thing you have to do is adapt the connectivity and let this run. So it comes with pre-built, let's say, pillars. It shows you orders, fulfillment, billing, and receivables. So when I go back, we can go deeper into this environment. So let's say we would like to have another sheet here and look into order analysis, fulfillment analysis, billing analysis. One of the most important things is order efficiency. So we have information, we provide information about key metrics like days order to ship, days ship to bill, days bill to paid, and days sales outstanding. So days sales outstanding is one of the most important information in a sales order process because it tells you, it gives you the information how long it takes from the issue of a sales order until a payment comes in, and it documents the efficiency of your entire sales order process. So this is a short overview on what we are understanding with a pre-built solution, pre-packaged solution for order to cash on a Synapse environment. Now, I would like to answer some questions if you want.
Yeah, currently until we have some, Robert, I just wanted to jump in quickly. So definitely we put a focus here on SAP for various reasons, right? It's highly complex. Companies running SAP environments really do struggle a lot, right? Putting the data out and especially combining them with some other data sources. But maybe just to put in a few words, what you showed here is not strictly doable with SAP as a data source, right? You do cover whole set of the various data sources and targets.
Exactly. So when we look at the business, the business defines the prerequisites, the pre-requirements for everything we do, and we are specialized on delivering real-time information. And real-time information is not only available from SAP, but it's also available from for example, sources like any databases where you run your applications on top. It's available for mainframes and it's available for Salesforce. So we can integrate several types of sources into one, let's say, data warehouse solution. And what I just introduced with rapid accelerators for SAP is just an example. It's just a pre-built app, an entire infrastructure, let's say, composition for SAP. Of course, we can support additional sources. We can change the modeling. We can adapt the model. For example, a good use case would be the integration of Salesforce.com when it comes to customer relationship management, or SAP CRM when we are trying to understand how, let's say, um, yeah, give me an example, how orders are being generated, how the leads are turned into orders, how your entire lead management looks like. So these are examples of what we are doing within those applications.
Okay, so I actually have two more. One is I've asked it on a panel. What's your experience up until now for the cloud movements for data warehouses or data lakes? So how often are they, or on-prem targets are still in a majority of the cases?
It's absolutely common. So a typical, let's say, a typical conversation with customers is starting with a question: how can we move a SAP business environment, business warehouse environment into the cloud? So imagine a customer and has done a lot of investment into business warehouse implementations. And when I say business warehouse, I mean SAP business warehouse. Um, but they see and have the need of having a bit more flexibility in terms of in terms of let's say adaptations for peaks in the business. So when we look at at retailers, for example, they have more the Christmas season or the Easter season. These are peaks where customers need more technical capabilities to scale, and especially the cloud vendors like Microsoft or Snowflake or all the others, they provide these capabilities. But how can we support those customers on their way into the cloud? So we don't want to force the customer to just invent everything from scratch. Now, this is exactly why we are providing these pre-built accelerator packages in order to help them jump-starting a solution with less effort and high efficiency. And when you go deeper into the business process of, for example, order to cash or procure to pay, you will find a lot of metrics. You will find a lot of information there, which also exists in a typical business warehouse implementation. So it's nothing uh, completely new, but it's running on a total different technical environment.
Okay, okay, I see. And I'm not sure if it's a comment or a question. It says Synapse is in the Azure cloud.
Yep.
Yes, it is, right? Absolutely. And Maurizio is asking why there's no fourth option in our question. Yeah, sadly we forgot it, but please feel free to pick something that's a bit similar to it. And maybe just to wrap it up with the last question, Robert, if you don't have any extra content here, and that is maybe just some most typical use cases for the CDC. You know, is it only manufacturing, or there are some other areas where you see it?
Absolutely. Um, there are typical, let's say, typical use cases which let's say which shout for and scream for CDC. So we all know, everybody who uses SAP and manages SAP, maybe as a user or in a let's say sub basis team, or as a user in the business, we all know that SAP is not really defined for extraction. So if you have massive extraction processes running, they are really impacting the performance of the systems. So this is exactly the reason why technically offer alternatives. And the second point and topic is definitely the different requirements today in comparison to maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So the tendency is going towards real time in many businesses, and typical use cases are really in manufacturing, in shop flooring, in logistics, in retailers. So these are typical use cases where customers looking for change data capture solutions would help them to get newer information, up-to-date information, first of all, but also reduce the load of the system as we are offering the possibility to not read from the database, but from the database log. So this is an external, not database-related process, and it impacts a basic system with not more than let's say 3 to 5%, and customers deliver performance metrics to us. So typically, when we are in a POC phase, we are tested. So they send their troops of, let's say, DBAs, network administrators, in order to precisely measure what we are doing. Because when we are saying CDC, change data capture, brings a value to you, they would like to to see this, and they like to measure this, and this is what we deliver. We deliver this perfect, let's say, solution for doing exactly those, meeting those technical requirements.
Okay, I mean these were some great inputs. I'm so sad it's happening in the last moments of our event, so it's probably concentration going down for everyone. But as far as I understood you, it's little or no impact into a database while extracting because it's on a change data capture basis, so reading
Yeah,
from logs, right?
yeah,
And that's definitely something that we can heavily stress out during our POCs if that's
yeah,
one of the customers' concern. Yeah, that's great.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
great. Okay, Robert, we don't have any more questions, so I
No
don't know if
problem.
you have any content left or slides, or that's it, so we can then wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine there are tons of slides
I
I
believe.
could show here. So the easiest, let's say, the best way to start those things is having a conversation with us, explaining us the use case, and we will we will judge this use case, and we give you the appropriate information, what would be the best steps forward. So this is not, when customers change their infrastructure from a more, let's say, ETL tool based, the batch-oriented way of data extraction into real time, that makes a few things necessary, technical-wise, process-wise. But we help those customers who are interested to make these steps with us, with technical expertise on this, and we get a lot of very, very good feedback for that.